Alex Ovechkin has done it. He has tied Wayne Gretzky as the greatest goal scorer in NHL history. Hi, this is Dan Homey of Locked On Capitals. Well, Ovi did it Friday evening against the Blackhawks as he scores number 894, and there was a real feeling in the air that he could do it. Could he get a hat trick in this game and make history and become the greatest goal scorer of all time? He'll have to settle for 2 goals as he scored number 894 against the Blackhawks. That goal scored on a power play tied him with Wayne Gretzky for the most goals in NHL history. Now, how did he get it done? Ovechkin fired a classic one-timer from the left circle, his office, if you will, to make the score 4-3. And what better place for it to happen than at Cap One Arena? That place was rocking. And finally, we're getting to that point where we don't have to talk about it being someday. It is getting closer and closer. This was his second goal of the game with Gretzky in attendance. So it was a big evening for the Capitals, Alex Ovechkin, as there was true greatness in attendance. And in the game, the bench celebrated the milestone, and both teams gave Ovechkin a standing ovation. And, that was the cool moment in the game. And, at the end of the day, I wish it would have been something that he could have accomplished at home, that he could have scored that goal that'll get him over the bump and make him the greatest goal scorer of all time. Could be the case. There is a game Sunday against the Islanders, and then the next game against the Hurricanes. Now, as far as Gretzky's response, Wayne Gretzky expressed pride in Ovechkin's achievement, highlighting its significance for hockey. And that's the big thing for me is, there is some accomplishments, of course, that Alex Ovechkin is doing. But this is a great moment for hockey as Wayne Gretzky has held on to this record for quite some time. But he has taken a more mature approach. When you hold records as the greatest anything, sometimes you think to yourself you might not want to relinquish or give up those accomplishments. At the end of the day, I feel like Wayne Gretzky has been rooting for Ovi the whole time. He recalled his own experience breaking a record and emphasized the positive impact on the sport. And like I've talked about on the show that of the major sports, sometimes NHL doesn't get the love that, say, the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball get. So for the spotlight to be shined on the NHL, Alex Ovechkin, it is a truly great moment. And the thing for me about the whole thing is that we're witnessing this within our lifetime. When we talk about Gretzky, that was a record that was set many, many years ago. Maybe some of you that are watching this on YouTube weren't alive when that happened. So just take that into consideration that when it finally happens, it'll be within your lifetime, and that's something that you can tell your kids and grandkids about as well. Now, the Caps won the game 5-3 with Ovechkin's goal being the game winner. There were 2 goals in this game. The one goal was scored near the net front, near the front on the right side. Not a typical Alex Ovechkin goal, but the goal that tied it was from his office and really had me pumping my fists. Were you doing that at home as well? But standout players in this game as well, Leonard, Faravari, and Dylan Strome. But quite a milestone, tying a legend. Ovechkin scores twice in the game. Kind of improbable. I had some people chattering in my ear, do you think he's going to get a hat trick? Of course, those things are always possible. But I was thinking, if he can even just chip away and get 1 goal, that would be a pretty cool thing. Now, he expressed disbelief during the post-game press conference, sitting next to Gretzky, saying, quote, "I still can't believe it," unquote. He stayed surrounded by family and friends. And one of the cool things for him, you got to imagine, is that he's doing it. His wife has been in attendance with all these games and his children as well. That, sometimes you can have victories in life, but sometimes they don't seem as real if you can't share them with the people that are important in your life. So it is, I think, a very cool thing that Ovi and his family were able to be in attendance. Now, as far as an emotional moment, teammates rushed to congratulate him, like I talked about. And, there have been some players on the team that have been there for a long time. I'm talking Carlson, Wilson, these kind of players that have been on the roster for quite some time. And some of those players have been there through the thick and thin. Some of those players were there in the 2018 team when they won the Stanley Cup. So being able to share that, I think, is an important thing. But Ovechkin is relieved to have reached this milestone, stating, quote, "No more outside noise, no more pressure," unquote. And I think that is a big thing, as well as one of the things I think has really been hard on Alex Ovechkin is the constant questions about when are you going to do it? When are you going to catch? When are you going to pass Wayne Gretzky? That when this finally wraps up, I know that he's tied Gretzky right now, but when he finally gets to the point that he is the greatest goal scorer of all time, he can put that in the rearview mirror, and he can concentrate on bigger things, and that is the Capitals, of course, winning a Stanley Cup. And oftentimes I think that Alex Ovechkin used that as a deflection, saying, I don't really care about this gold chase. I care about the Capitals winning a Stanley Cup. Of course, like I say, I think that was more of a deflection at the end of the day. So, talking about insights on energy and mindset, Ovechkin shares insights on maintaining his energy and mindset during a significant time. And that's the hard thing, is staying focused, not overthinking it. You think about, maybe great moments in your life where you were on the verge of doing great things, and sometimes you get caught up in your head. And oftentimes I think too, last season when Alex Ovechkin got off to that slowest start in the goal scoring department in his entire career, was that him overthinking? Was that him gripping the stick too tight, trying to think about what am I doing wrong? That I think that once this, is finally off his back, he'll be able to concentrate on bigger and better things. He maintains a focused outlook, taking it game by game as the team prepares for the playoffs, emphasizing the importance of performing well in the final games. So what do we know? Alex Ovechkin is under contract this season and next season. And then after that, we don't know. Could he sign an extension? Maybe. Do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. I think that he'll probably finish his entire hockey career playing with Dynamo Moscow, where it all started. A good bookend at the end of the day. So you take a look at it, preference for conventional scoring. One of the things that Alex Ovechkin wanted to make very apparent is that he did not want to score this goal on an empty netter. I'm talking about the goal that makes him the greatest goal scorer of all time. Some people would call it perhaps stolen valor. And I know that Alex Ovechkin has spoke ad nauseum about not caring, but I think he does, because I think that the chatter gets louder. And I don't think that he wants all of this to be overshadowed by an empty netter. And I hear that just hosting this show, that quite a few people saying, well, Alex Ovechkin is a great goal scorer, but how many of those have been scored on an empty net? He's always quick to point out, why don't you put on the skates? Why don't you go out there and do that? That I think it is really being drawn into focus that, there were moments out there this season, he has scored a decent amount of empty netters, but he doesn't want this goal, a goal that holds so much significance being on an empty net. And he had that chatter in his ear as well. Dylan Strome, John Carlson, you want the puck, you want the puck. He made it very clear to everyone that when he finally gets the moment, when he finally gets the opportunity to be the greatest goal scorer of all time, he doesn't want to be seen as, he got it on an empty netter. He wants all the credit, and he deserves it. At the end of the day, he has had so many accomplishments in his career. I don't think we want to steal anything from him. But just to wrap it up here, quite a moment. If you had an opportunity to watch the game, there is a feeling of emotion that can almost overtake you if you're a longtime Capitals fan, and you saw that in Alex Ovechkin as well, as in the post-game locker room thing there, where he got handed the puck by Spencer Carberry. It's not often that you see Alex Ovechkin, the tough guy, the Russian that doesn't show a lot of emotion, break down and cry. But there was a chance when I was watching that I almost felt like you could hear it in his voice that he was going to get emotional. And I would think nothing less of him for doing that. I mean, this is a truly great moment. I know, again, like I say, he has one more year left under contract, but what a great way. What a great way to kind of almost be on the back nine of your career, setting a great record as being the great goal scorer of all time. And this season, one of his last seasons on the big team with the Capitals, that he has an opportunity to go for a Stanley Cup, something that seemed improbable at the beginning of the season, the Capitals being in this position, vying for a Stanley Cup spot, but they're doing that, and it's due in a large part, great to a great team, but not to be lost on a great captain. As I always say, as Alex Ovechkin goes, so go the Capitals. All right, once again, I want to thank you for joining me on this bonus edition of Locked On Capitals, and I'll talk to you again next time.